Welcome to chapter 27 of the book of 1 Samuel. Before we get into the book, I have to warn you, if you hear a loud bang, it's not me being shot, but this is the 3rd of July in 2020, and people have fireworks and they shoot them off right behind my house on the beach. So if you hear that while we're recording here, a loud bang, that's what it is. It continues now in chapter 27 where David has realized that Saul, even though he has left attacking David in the last chapter, we read about that, David still doesn't have a trust for Saul, trust of him. It says and begins, and David said in his Carthea heart, saying, Now I shall be added in one day into the hands of Saul. And there is not a good thing to me unless I come through safe into the land of the Philistines. And that was down by the Gaza Strip, where the Palestinians are today. And Saul should spare of me to seek me in every border of Israel. He won't be there. And thus I shall be delivered from out of his hand. So he has a plan, and that's to go to the enemy, hide out there, this 600 men. David rose up and passed over, he and the 600 men with him. Now, exactly what they passed over, it doesn't say. If it's the Jordan, maybe they were on the other side because they were close to the Dead Sea. And anyway, they went to Achish, son of Maok, king of Gath, which is a city of Philistia, and was where, I believe, David killed Goliath. Goliath was from Gath. And David sat with Achish in Gath, he and his men, each also with his house or household, and David and both of his wives, Ahinoam the Jezreelitess, and Abigail, the wife of Nabal, the Carmelite, which we read in 2 chapters earlier. And it was announced, there's the Alpha and the Gamma, announced with the angel or announcement message. It was announced to Saul that David fled into Gath, and he proceeded not any longer to seek him. So we have these pronouns, he and him, he, that is Saul, and him being David. And David said to Achish, If indeed your bondman has found a favor in your eyes, ophthalmos, ophthalmologist derivative, give indeed to me a place in one of the cities of the ones in the country, and I shall settle there. A couple of derivatives, topon for topography, polion, polis, metropolis, city, and agro, agriculture, comes from the country. For why does your bondman settle in a city reigning with you? And Achish gave to him in that day Seklag or Ziklag, and because of this Ziklag came to the king of Judea unto this day. That means that David took possession of the city, and when he became king of Israel, then he continued to control that city. And came to pass the number of the days which David stayed in the agro of the Philistines 4 months. And David ascended, and his men, and they made an attack upon the Geshurites and the Gezrites and against the Amalekites. These were peoples that were not Jews, they were not of Israel or Judea. They were belonged to the other nations that were around, Canaanites, as was Achish. For the land was inhabited by the one from Gesur, Shur, and unto the land of Egypt. So they're all down there by the Gaza Strip today. And he struck the land, and he did not bring forth alive man or woman. And it sounds cruel that they would kill everybody, but we need to remember that God commanded him to kill everyone because these people were evil. They were sacrificing their children and doing all sorts of terrible things, these 7 nations of the Canaanites. And so to these people, the Jews, they were told to do this by God. And they took flocks, that is, David's men, and herds, and donkeys, and camelus, camels, transliteration there, and clothes. And they returned and came into Achish. And Achish said to David, well, upon whom did you attack today? And David said to Achish, well, to the south in Judea, which was alive, and to the south of Jerahmeel, and to the south of the Kenite. But he wasn't. He was going south of him, of Achish. And David did not bring forth a man or a woman alive to bring unto Gath, saying, lest they announce against us, saying, David does thus. So they killed them all, so nobody could go in and tell Achish. And thus was his ordinance all the days which David settled in the country of the Philistines. They killed them all. And David was trusted by Achish, saying, well, with shame, he's being shamed by his people in Israel, and he will be my bondman unto the Eon, the Iona. I'm going to control him for a long time. Well, Achish was the one that was being controlled, but he didn't realize it. And we'll find out in the next chapter how the other Philistines who were going to attack Saul and Israel realized that Achish was, his choice wasn't very good. So until the next chapter, we find out all about that. I hope you'll continue and join us, chapter 28. Till then, God bless.